In another video, I talk about how to link sentences, but in this video, I want to focus on how to link paragraphs. Really, the fundamental information is the same. It's the same idea of connecting pieces of writing. So when you're linking your sentences, obviously, you're working at the sentence level, but when you're linking your paragraphs, you're linking obviously paragraphs and affecting the overall form of your essay. So when you think about linking sentences, think about it being on a smaller scale, that you're zoomed in into the paragraphs of your essay. Whereas when you're linking your paragraphs, think that you are zoomed out and looking at your organization and essay as a whole. So that's where the big difference lies. When you're linking sentences, you're working within a paragraph to show your progression of thought. When you're linking paragraphs, you're moving your reader from the beginning of your essay to the end of your essay. So it's kind of small picture, big picture. So really, the main idea, again, is the same. It helps maintain your flow, cohesion, and unity, but in this case, you're doing it among your paragraphs. So instead of showing how your sentences are arranged, you're showing how your paragraphs are arranged, how they're related, and how they are unified. It also helps your reader move from one paragraph to the next and shows your reader how your thought process is logical and moving from point to point. So again, you're working with your organization as a whole, as in a whole essay, as opposed to within a paragraph when you're linking your sentences. It also directly relates to your reader's overall engagement with your writing and with your essay as a whole. So within each paragraph, you want to make sure that your reader follows, from point A to point B, but you also have to keep your reader engaged in moving from paragraph to paragraph in your essay. So here are some helpful techniques that are very similar to the techniques for linking sentences. You want to use linking words and phrases, and I've already provided those sample resources for you, so make sure you use those transition lists. And you would use most of those at the beginning or the end of a paragraph. This says paraphrase, but I'll get that fixed. So when you write a transition from sentence to sentence, you usually just need to use one word, such as additionally, or next, or further, or finally, something like that. So sometimes your transitional links are very short, but when you transition from paragraph to paragraph, you're going to want to lengthen them so that they are a bit stronger. You want to use several words or a phrase or even a sentence instead of just a single word. So for example, within a paragraph, you could say, next, school lunches need to be improved by blah, blah, blah. So your transition is simply one word. But when you're beginning a new paragraph, you want to tie your transition in to your topic sentence. So here's an example. The next reason that school lunches should be improved is this. Then your reader knows that you are moving on in this paragraph to a new idea. It states what the new idea is, and your reader will know that everything in that paragraph coming after is related to this reason. Does that make sense? So you don't want just one word to transition from paragraph to paragraph. It may not be strong enough. So it's just going to depend on context and depend on what you're saying and how you're transitioning. Always. It depends on what you're doing. But linking your transition with your topic sentence is always a good idea because it shows good writing. It shows cohesion with your transition in the sentence itself. But again, it shows your progression of thought as a whole paragraph instead of just a sentence. Also, you want to repeat key words that connect paragraphs. So this is kind of hard to visualize. Pretend that this is the final sentence of a paragraph, and then pretend that this is the first sentence of the next paragraph. So they were surprised by the voters' interest. This interest may be a result of, and this is how you link the two paragraphs. You're ending on an idea and you are expanding that idea in the next paragraph. And by repeating these key words, your reader knows that, oh, they're continuing with this idea. You don't have to say next or a transitional word like that. Instead, by repeating the word, you create a very strong connection between your paragraphs. And I love it when I see this kind of link in paragraphs. It's not something you have to do all the time. If you did it repeatedly, it would get old and it would be as effective. So when you can have these kind of power links between your paragraphs, it really adds emphasis, shows awesome writing, and your reader's going to go, wow, this writer knows what they're doing. So try to do this at least once or twice in every essay that you write, and it's going to, the quality overall is just going to boost very, and look how simple that is. It's just the repetition of one word. And again, this sentence needs to be your topic sentence. So you're leading from the previous paragraph in transitioning and linking while introducing the next paragraph's idea. So it's just really helpful in your overall organization of your paragraphs. So there are really only these two techniques that are the most helpful, but they will just boost your quality if you can focus on them. So make sure that every single paragraph has a link in some way, whether it's a linking word or transitional connective phrase, or that you're repeating a word. And if you make sure that you have a transition at the beginning of every single paragraph, you'll probably be fine. So it just is a matter of you being proactive, proofreading your essays, and revising as you need to. So there's really not a whole lot more that I need to say about it other than it's extremely important. And just like linking sentences, one small fix can add a huge improvement to your writing. So I really encourage you to play and experiment with your transitions and really seek to improve on them, because your writing will just be so much greater with very little work. So let me know if you have any questions.